All right, we're live. Oh wait, it's not saying we're live.
What?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Just like skip to 6.
Dog tag. All right. We'll see if people are join.
Do it. I need more.
I'm over at mine.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. Go to your disc.
Hold a minute.
Okay.
Technically, it's not started yet.
Yep.
I'll freaking get victory. Ooh, take a picture of me.
All right, so we need to go to my
Wait, hold on.
channel.
I gotta go sell my product.
We got more peanut butter.
Hey, Professor.
That thumbnail.
Thumbnail is on point.
Cheers. You gave it to me.
I'm such a freaking pro. We're already ready. We're ready to go.
I'm just gonna be here watching the chat.
Are there even levels in the game?
Yeah, so this is
Yeah.
hold on. I can't tell. Oh. What's the sound as well?
Yeah, I'm playing
Participants.
Fortnite right
Yeah, I'm gonna go sell your
now.
You need to get back to your seat.
Go to your seat.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry.
Probably gonna die.
Hey, Matthew, you want a Fortnite code?
Matthew doesn't play Fortnite. Matthew's not as cool as me.
We shall wait. Let's see.
Hey, you do.
I have someone give me a Fortnite
Why
code.
would
Use a
you get a
Fortnite
Fortnite
code?
code if you didn't have Fortnite? You've been playing Fortnite and
Not like I'm not using much.
Right now.
You just started.
No?
You haven't even dropped out of the bus yet.
I have.
Look, Manny.
In
Get on my game. You can't.
I can't. You already started.
How do I get out of here? Close.
just friend each other.
You can't get out of here.
I'm sending you an invite.
Don't mess with my charger.
Well, I don't know how to. Where should I drop? Not where everyone else is dropping.
How do you feel?
You know what I mean?
It took so much effort. I don't know why.
Mostly because it never gets unplugged. That's why.
Yeah?
Email.
Oh, good.
Friend each other for the love of God.
Join. I'm in.
One person watching.
Okay. How do you do that? Zigzag. Uh-oh.
Yes, I'm in.
Okay, ready? Set.
Very nice.
Dude, me and Manny.
How do you land at the same spot?
You both jump out at the same time.
And then from the same place.
I don't even know how to aim.
And
We're
you
gonna
say you're
win.
so good at Fortnite.
We're still gonna win. Oh, we got 2 other people.
You guys got it. Don't worry. Why do you have the Dark Knight skin? Nice.
I
Stop.
got
Oh,
a
yeah.
gun in my first 5 seconds.
I almost
playing.
got the Voyager.
I got the
I'm like 3 tiers away from John Wick.
Really?
Who else is here?
I'm 2 spots off from.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I do that.
I got the battle helmet today too.
I have. I have the Valentine's
Oh,
skin.
it's that.
Yes,
Me and
give me that paper.
Manny Draw.
Are you guys playing squads?
Yeah.
Down and
We're
down
not
into
duos?
the
Yeah,
deep
let's not do
water.
Where are we landing?
Wait, do that.
Twisty Tower.
How do you
Hey,
win?
go to the place
Wait,
called
hey,
Tilted.
let me join you.
Down and down into
Join you
I know that's where everyone went.
All right,
No, it's-
thumbs up.
Green. What's
Think I care?
Yeah.
No, because he doesn't play video games.
That's not true.
Oh, what kind do you
Freaking
play?
rude.
What do you play?
It's okay.
Clash of
We
Clans.
can play later.
You
Yeah.
trash. Yes.
I get done. Like,
Have you played the new operation
She
yet?
does like every.
Have you played
hour
as
or
Finka?
so.
I get to-
Please tell me you have.
I get does every
Dang,
millisecond.
I only played Finka
Yeah,
once.
that's what I thought.
Now I play Smoke.
I don't know what's lower.
Exactly. Because there's nothing. You can't play.
East. Welcome.
You guys have that out? It's double knotted.
Down and down and do the deep water. Down and do we go.
Alright,
You
so
already had that.
today we're gonna kind of put together some of our knowledge of using placement
I'll trade
equations.
you a
So the
dark
front of
peanut
this,
butter.
this is actually not that long because the front is
What?
showing you how you do a problem like
Trade
this.
you a
And then the
dark
back
peanut
is
butter.
how you do a problem like this. So the front says a speeder who is driving down a road at a constant speed of 20 meters per second passes a cop parked on the roadside.
The cop is
The cop
sleeping.
waits 3 seconds, then pursues the speeder, accelerating at a constant 4 meters per second squared. When does the cop catch the speeder? And so to do this, the first thing you need to do is make a data table that shows time and position. And so you can see they've made a data table over here on the left side that shows time in seconds, the position of the speeder, and the position of the cop. And so let's talk about how they got those numbers there. So let's talk about the speeder, because the speeder is traveling at a constant rate. That's a little bit easier to talk about. So if we want to know that, so if we said the point, I'm the cop, and the speeder comes by, that point is 0. From there on, I have position change. Does that make sense? So obviously time equals 0. They're all at the same location, which is 0. So you can see that on there. And then it goes, time equals 1. It goes up 20 seconds. Time equals 2 to 40. Time equals 3, 60, so forth and so on. So how did they get that? Well, what is the speeder's initial velocity?
20 meters a second.
20 meters a second, right? Because he's traveling 20 meters a second when he passes, travels at a constant rate. So he's traveling 20 meters a second. We'll talk about changing time here in just a second. But if I'm traveling at a constant rate, or any object is traveling at a constant rate, what's its acceleration? 0. If I'm traveling at a constant speed, if I'm traveling 70 miles an hour and my speed never changes, I have 0 acceleration, because acceleration is change in speed over time, right? So I have 0 acceleration. So if I plug a 0 into this part of my equation, what happens to everything over here?
It turns to 0.
It becomes 0, right? 0 multiplied by anything is 0. So do I even need this side of my equation now?
No.
No. For an object moving at a constant rate, this equation doesn't matter. This part of my equation doesn't matter. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if at 1 second I want to know its position, my change in time would be 1 second, right? What's 20 times 1?
20.
20. And so you'll notice at 1 second, speeder has a position of 20. At 2 seconds, my change in time would be 2. 20 times 2 is
40.
40. And you'll notice at time equals 2, it's 40. And it goes up by 20 every time because he's traveling at a constant rate. Every second, he's going 20 meters. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's talk about the cop. So if you look on there, the cop's position for the first 3 seconds is 0. Why?
Waits.
Yeah. The cop waits 3 seconds, then pursues the speeder, accelerating at a constant 4 meters per second squared. So let's talk about the cop. What's the cop's initial velocity?
0.
0. So if I put a 0 in here, what happens to this whole side of my equation?
0.
Yeah, it's no longer important. I don't need that part because 0 times anything is 0. And if I add 0 to something, it's still whatever something was. Does that make sense? So this part no longer matters. So now all that matters is this part over here. And we have the acceleration, which is 4 meters per second squared. Now, at the 4 second mark, how much time has the cop been accelerating for? How much time has passed since he started accelerating?
Where?
At the 4 second mark, because the first 3 seconds I'm sitting still. So at the 4 second mark, how long has the cop been accelerating?
1 second.
1 second, right? Because I was sitting still for 3 seconds, and then from the 3 to 4 second, I started accelerating. Does that make sense? So my change in time at the 4 second mark is 1 second, because I've only been accelerating for 1 second. Does that make sense? So what's 1 squared?
1.
1. What's 1 times 4?
4.
What's 4 divided by 2?
2.
2. And so you'll notice at the 4 second mark, the cop has a position of 2. Does that make sense? So at the 5 second mark, how long has the cop been accelerating?
2 seconds.
2 seconds, because it started accelerating at the 3 second mark. So from 3 to 5, that's change in time of 2 seconds. What's 2 squared?
4.
What's 4 times 4?
16.
What's half of 16?
8.
8. And so you'll notice at the 5 second mark, it has a position of 8. And you would continue that process all the way down. Questions over how they got those numbers? Okay. So then the next part says plot a graph of the position of the speeder and the cop. Let's talk about why we need a graph. So first of all, if you look on there, They went to time 16 seconds. Why did they go all the way to 16 seconds?
Because
That's when the top catches the speeder.
Yeah. If you look, the cop catches the speeder sometime between 15 and 16 seconds. That's when their positions overlap. Does that make sense? And there's no reason to go farther than that because the purpose of this was to when does the cop catch the speeder? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So why go any farther? So we've got to the point where we caught him, and I don't want to go any less because we still wouldn't know where we caught him at. So if you look just at the data table, not graph, just the data table, could you tell me exactly when the cop catches the speeder?
Nope.
Oh, not exactly.
Not from the data table, right?
No.
So that's why we have to graph. I now have to make a graph so I can actually determine it. Because if you look at the graph, you can tell, right, where those two lines cross. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so then we plot the data, and we are able to figure that out. And the last step is drawing a motion diagram of the speeder and the cop. So if you look down at the bottom, which one of those motion diagrams, top or bottom, is the cop?
Top.
How do you know? Give me one way you
Dots
know.
get farther apart.
Huh?
The dots get farther apart.
Okay, good. The dots get farther apart on the cop, so you know that the cop is the one that was accelerating. The speeder was traveling at a constant rate. How else do you know it's the cop? Good. 3 dots at the beginning going up, showing that the cop is staying in the same position. How else do you know? The acceleration arrows. All 3 of those will tell you which one is the cop and which one is the speeder. So whenever you make a motion diagram on the back, you need to have those characteristics for each person. One's accelerating, one's not. You need to show me that. So, on the back, it says Pepper and Matt play football. Pepper stands at the goal line, which is x equals 0, and Matt is 20 yards away. At a certain instant, Pepper catches the ball, still standing directly on the goal line. He immediately starts running toward Matt with an acceleration of 6 feet per second squared. So give me some given info that you know right now. Okay.
That's not true.
Pepper. Matt. X I is 0. X I is 20. Okay. What else do you know?
When Pepper caught the ball, he immediately started to run toward Matt with an acceleration of 6 feet a second squared.
Okay. You got an acceleration of 6 feet per second squared. You should have one more variable of given information right now. I know we haven't finished the whole problem yet. We haven't got that far yet. We'll get that in a second. I'm going to come back to it. What's the other given information you know about Pepper?
Pepper caught the ball on the goal line.
Okay, we have that x I equals 0.
She's running towards Matt.
That's true. I don't know how to represent that with a variable, though. I guess
Matt moves.
we haven't got that far yet in our word problem yet. What else do you know about Pepper? What's that mean?
She's starting 0.
What's starting at 0? Velocity. Velocity is starting out at 0. Velocity is starting out at 0 because she catches it standing still, right? If I'm standing still, my velocity must be 0. Okay, so then to continue on, at the same instant, Matt heads directly toward Pepper with a steady speed of 15 feet per second. So what is that? What else do we know?
Steady speed.
Okay, what is that steady speed? 15 feet per second. So we know those things right now. Well, I guess we know something else too. What else do we know? If I have a steady speed, what's that mean?
It's constant.
No, so
Constant, which means
0 acceleration.
0 acceleration. Okay. So let's talk about this. On the front part, we use this part of the equation for which one, the speeder or the cop?
That's
The speeder.
Speeder, why?
Because it had a constant velocity.
Because it had a constant velocity, constant rate. Which person is constant in this
Matt.
problem? Matt is. Matt is constant. Constant speed of 15 feet per second. Acceleration of 0. That part doesn't matter. This was my cop that was accelerating. This will be Pepper. Because Pepper has initial velocity of 0, meaning this part of the equation doesn't matter. Does that make sense?
So are you saying that, like, the accelerated, like, person or whatever is the second part of the equation or a constant?
Good.
Okay.
Yep. If I have a person traveling at constant speed, this part doesn't matter anymore because acceleration would be 0, and so therefore I'd be adding 0. Does that make sense?
So whenever you add the two, like whenever you put the two equations together, then what do you?
That would be whenever I get a graph that looks like this, a velocity time graph that shows constant motion and then accelerated motion. And I would have both going on. Bless you. Now, this is not, sometimes accelerated motion, so I need to preface this real fast. For the problem of the day, what I just told you all holds true. But sometimes I can have accelerated motion and my initial velocity is not 0. If I were to time a ball flying through the air, let's say we had a pitcher and a catcher playing baseball, because it's baseball season. Pitcher throws the ball, but I don't start timing, taking data on that ball until it's halfway to the plate. Well, it's already got an initial velocity then, right? And so therefore I'm showing its negative acceleration as it slows down. Does that make sense? And so at that point, I have an initial velocity, so I would need to take that into consideration. In this experiment, the initial velocity is 0 of the object. It's accelerating, so that part doesn't matter. Does that make sense? Okay. So, first part here. Draw a physical diagram and label it. Literally draw me something that makes sense to you. If you were to go outside the football field and watch Pepper and Matt do this, what would it look like? Draw me a physical diagram. Stick figures, I don't care, whatever. If you're a crazy artist, draw me something crazy artist, Steve. I can't do this. Draw me a physical diagram. Discuss with your table if you need help on what that might
Physical
look like.
diagram.
Oh
boy.
That's correct.
I'm gonna come up with better lyrics, okay? All my streams up.
He runs 5 yards per second.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't.
Should it keep running 5 yards?
Not 1 second. Not a second. It should take a lot
Can't
less than a
scroll.
second.
Leggings.
On 5 yards?
What are yard dashes? We run those in 4.5 seconds.
Read.
I get it.
So you run 10 yards per second.
How long did it take you to run a 100 meter?
12 seconds.
It took me like 15.
I ran one of those yesterday. 100K. 12.5.
I'm just tired. It's just getting me tired. Such a good artist.
So your physical diagram could look like either one of these. I don't really care. You could be like, hey, this is what an overhead view looks like. There's my football field.
They're laying down on the ground.
Pepper's on the 0. They're running towards each other.
If it's an overhead view, they're laying on the ground.
They are.
Good.
They're rolling towards each other. I don't know.
He can
Or you
roll
can do
pretty
something like this,
fast.
where hey, Pepper's standing on the goal line, Matt's standing on the 20-yard line,
Okay.
running towards each other. I don't care.
Here's
Something that you would see with your eyeballs if you were to observe this in real life. So here in a little bit when we talk about velocities and things like that, you understand what's going on. So now, a while ago, I wrote down all our given variables with the units on there. Did anyone notice a problem with any of those? Okay. So the next part, you're going to make a data table. On that data table, out to the side, I would put times, because it's only 2 columns. I don't know why they didn't give you 3. This is our data table we have to make. I put Pepper on one, Matt on the other, and I would put times going down the side. Does that make sense? At time equals 0, what's Pepper's position?
0.
0. At time equals 0, what's Matt's position?
20.
20. Now, what's the units on that 20?
Yards away.
Yards, right? Football field's in yards, 100 yards on football field. Talk to me about Matt's speed.
He runs 15 feet a second.
15 feet a second. That's not the same thing.
It's 5 yards.
5 yards.
So, we got to convert. Now, most of you do that in your head, and that's fine.
Ta-da.
But, in case you didn't, pick a fence method. He runs 15 feet a second. How do I get rid of feet?
Feet on bottom.
Put it on bottom, opposite sides of my fence. That way it cancels. We can go to yards from feet. How many yards? Feet. So just multiply across the bottom, you get 3 seconds. 15 divided by 3.
7.
5 yards per second. Now, talking about this. This Matt's velocity. So his speed is 5 yards per second. Is Matt's velocity 5 yards per second?
Yes.
What's the difference between speed and velocity?
Speed is just speed in general, velocity is speed in general direction.
Okay. Good. The difference between speed and velocity is direction. So what direction is Matt traveling?
Towards 0.
Towards 0. So is that a positive or negative value?
Negative.
Negative. So that's negative 5 yards per second velocity. Does that make sense? Now, Pepper's acceleration is also in feet per second. You need to convert feet per second squared. You need to convert that to yards per second squared. Same way we just did that.
2.
So it'd be 2 yards per second squared. Go through and fill out your data table with your table. Work together on this. Fill out your table. Remember, Matt is traveling at a constant rate. You're using this. Pepper is traveling at an accelerated rate. You're using that.
So
Fill out your data table. Actually, from there you should be able to do the rest. Once your data table, you should be able to make me a position time graph, a velocity time graph. So, with your table, collaborate and listen.
Okay, Eminem.
It's a brand
Or-
edition.
5 yards per
Is that
second.
Eminem? I'm an idiot.
It's a weird thing. I have to teach class. Okay.
Wait. Max is constant?
Talent show.
Matt.
Sorry.
accelerated.
Does someone go to school here?
What is that?
What is that? Oh my god.
This is my jam.
Oh my god.
Just yell that in the
Nice.
That's what you do 5 times.
So
So when you find an accelerated, you do 5 times.
How is this music?
How was Gucci Gang?
Or divide by 2.
I don't even listen to the song. How was that song?
I agree.
Oh, yeah. The 2 times open, the flag is real. Blue Musketeer. They did a pretty good job so far.
So for Pepper, yeah. So you do 1 squared,
Yeet.
which is 1, and then times that by 5.
God.
Or wait, what would
By 2. She accelerates at a constant speed, or at a constant acceleration of 6 feet per second squared,
Oh,
which is 2 yards per second.
okay, so yeah, okay.
So 2 times 1 divided by 2.
Is 1.
And then 2 times 2 divided by 2, which is 2.
Wait, 2 times
Or
2.
2 squared.
Yeah, so
2
it's 4.
times 2 squared,
It's 4 times 2 divided by 2.
4.
So yeah.
I've got a call from Las Vegas.
I got a call from the Apple store.
What did they say? You didn't answer.
Is Stephanie available?
This is not Stephanie.
Oh, I don't even know it's Stephanie. And then they go, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, well, my friend gave you my number to call about her not being able to get to the phone because she's not with me. And okay, bye. I was like, bye.
So 3 squared is 9. 9 times 2.
What did you try to do? What's the difference between Matt and Pepper? Because you're about to do the same thing with Pepper that you did with Matt, right? Except go in positive direction.
9, 16,
First of all,
36.
you gotta
Or 9, 16, 25, 36.
10, 16, 24, 36.
9, 16, 25, 36.
25. Okay.
You get the spirit.
Minimal effects.
Wait.
No.
Which one of those numbers applies to Matt? Which one applies to Pepper?
No, these go.
Right. Remember we had a
Wait, what were they?
9.
Wait,
For 3 is 9.
There's 2 people watching.
25, 36.
16, 25.
Dom has Goldberg.
So,
Yep.
I was wondering my charger. I forgot.
You did it wrong when you multiplied it.
I put in my charger.
Nope.
I usually don't.
15
What in the world?
Just plug that into the equation. Just plug this
so then most of the time,
The half and the acceleration cancel out because half times 2 is 1. So
Wow.
you just put the time
Please.
into the change in time part.
Suit detector.
And that's your
Is that the talent show?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna watch a talent show.
What?
We put it on the story.
Eh.
Huh?
We put it on the story.
Alexis and like other people like James and all that.
I don't have.
And Annabelle had one.
Heck yeah. Oh wow. I would have signed up for the talent show, but I just didn't feel like it.
I'm gonna play Fortnite.
Probably Nicole Star.
Believe it or not, I can sing, even though I
I'm
don't know
gonna
it
play
to play.
Fortnite again.
Guess who didn't go to the talent show?
Me.
Maybe.
Wait, mine's loading. You can't go yet.
I won't go.
You know what would be a cool talent show act?
What?
A dunk contest.
Yes.
But
What's that?
Dunking.
yeah, in basketball,
Yeah.
you jump up and pull onto the
I
rim.
didn't know what you meant, Matthew.
Dunking. What do you not understand?
Like dunking, like you know how
A ball. Eric.
Well,
Dunking the ball. Welcome to food unboxing. Welcome to food
I
unboxing.
was thinking about like you know how they throw
Today we
the
have
balls
Reese's
at
Puffs.
the red dot thing and the I am.
When you get down here,
I'm just looking at my character.
Yeah. I was showing my character. Look at my character.
Mine's better though.
Oh, yeah.
Mine's better. I got the Valentine's Bears.
I
costume.
forgot. I thought we were just done when like you did
I
that.
was just doing the table.
Yeah, me too.
Yeet.
That's
What did you do?
Everything.
Use that one tool thing. What was that?
Yeah, it's an orange peeler.
You're the one person that's actually known what that is.
I have some in my house. I actually eat oranges to get my nice vitamin D.
I have no nails.
Neither do I, but I still manage to open the peel. What I do is I bite down here and I rip the peel off and I go from there.
Yeah, I don't. 'Cause it takes you a while.
I know it does. So does a banana peel. When you can't open that banana, I'm just like,
She's up at the bottom.
well, yeah, that's another way if you wanted to be normal. It's good.
Alright.
Okay, position 5, 10, 15.
Too bad I don't see this
Way
out
simple
here.
orange.
That's too bad we don't have TLT this hour.
I know what I'm doing.
No.
Right, did I do
This
this
is
right?
so sad.
So for some reason I didn't realize.
Nice.
Yours was gonna take time in my mind.
Wait.
Matthew!
Wait, Matthew, did you get the table? Like for the how'd you make it negative?
I think we're the only ones that still just tree
Because
Eric.
like it goes negative. It goes
Eric,
back
it's
to
just
negative
us.
10.
We're just talking to ourselves at this point. Who's this?
Alright.
Hello, Linda Smith.
M is
Hello.
square or triangle. Pepper
Glad to
is
hear it. Glad to have
square.
you here. Oh yeah, here's the peanut butter, by the way. I have to do this because it's peanut butter. Sure. Honestly, I don't care. Everybody's welcome to my stream. I'm not that kind of stream.
At 1 second.
Yes, everybody is welcome.
I'm just gonna do circles for Pepper. Because that's how straight.
Yeah, exactly. Both of us are. I mean, Blue Musketeer. Science class.
Huh?
Not gonna say.
Oh.
Or maybe I'm not.
I got it approved by my parents. We're getting poster board tonight, and we're making this for the walkout.
For the walkout.
Missouri.
You can read it.
There's good things about Virginia, actually. Fortunately, I'll be visiting Nebraska.
No guns.
I should probably put my Discord in
I
here.
don't think anyone's gonna do that. It's like,
That's dumb. My dad told me that I couldn't do it.
Oh, hi, how are you? This is Blue Musketeer.
And he said that it was like,
Let me go get my receipts.
we let them have
Look at your
like,
recent stuff. Okay.
they want to follow the first
Does that need? Okay, this is my.
Cause like a riot.
Just sending an
Once,
email.
like someone bad gets behind a gun.
Send this to Google Hangouts.
Whether I'm ashamed
We're
or
terrorists.
happy of your email.
I made this when I was in 6th grade, so
Stupid people say, "Oh yeah, guns kill people."
No.
send that to Google
Guns
Hangouts.
can't shoot unless the trigger's pulled.
Google Hangouts.
Exactly. Or it's loading.
And your graph should be quantitative. No,
You
qualitative.
could
Graph
shoot
should be
it.
qualitative. Quality. You made numbers. Grab those numbers.
That's weird.
Well, that's
Back
science.
with a gun. No, that's a bow.
Oh, I got hangouts.
Or yeah, no, I said sorry. I was confused. Quantitative is what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want qualitative. Yeah, I want numbers. I want
Wait.
quantitative. I want numbers.
yeah.
How do you make negative?
So for
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't
how
worry
do
about
you-
the negative.
Oh,
Wait, what?
okay. Don't make negatives.
Ah, I just put it on the 0 line. Bada bang, bada boom.
I don't really know about that.
You're making a position time graph.
No, I'm
I know. What's
So
that?
they intersect.
Do you want us to go all the way up
Okay,
to
give me a second.
25?
Eric, I
Huh?
need your hotspot.
Do you want us to go all the way up to 25?
No.
No.
I still got your password saved, so don't worry. Oh crap!
Maybe just go to
Yeah, what?
You're not saying we should get rid of.
Oh my god! That's
Make
not the
make
best
velocity
email
versus
ever.
time for both. How do you do that?
Give me a sec. Yeah.
I can draw the motion diagram.
Oh my.
There we go. Go to Hangouts real quick then.
Sir,
Yes.
thank you.
Hold on. I guess I have to go to my Gmail. I don't know. This is weird. Email. There it is.
What's Matt and what's with Pepper? What's with Pepper Matt?
Matt's better.
You be the judge of that because I can't.
You're just saying that because it's your name.
I don't need more nice
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's not.
Yes.
So.
I say you are yes. Oh, there you go.
He's
Exactly.
like the worst Fortnite player you've ever met.
Microphone is on. So Google alert.
Then what? Then what?
Just
Then
for
what?
security. I need to delete.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like playing.
Rain. Nerves today, Brain.
Burglary happens. Delete that.
Hey, I can't play Fortnite.
Delete that.
Throw it at
Pretty good, I guess.
What's that noise?
I need
Yep, I guess that's normal.
Yay!
Yeah.
Stop. You're really goggling my ears today.
Before I thought you were just screwing the thing.
I'll make a paper airplane.
What do I do that?
Oh my gosh, Matthew.
Yeet.
Sorry, I'm
My
bothering
camera
you.
is very, very off.
No.
There we go.
Try again.
Can I do
No,
something?
actually, no.
I did it.
Maddie, you're too
I am
strong.
gay.
Maddie, please stop with the string.
What was that?
I swear. What incarnation's going on over
People
here?
below us are gonna be like, what the heck?
What incarnation's going on over here? Stop dilly dallying over here.
I'm starting to rethink this.
Are you reading the chat?
Matthew,
This is weird.
How much?
Really?
No, let me drop it on there. Yeah, I think we should read the chat. Do some operator shit. What is this? No, that's a face. Seriously. That's exactly why I told.
I just
I drew this.
I'm
She goes,
absolutely confused as to why the fuck. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. Not that, no. Not that kind of YouTuber. No.
Matthew, look to your right.
Sorry, but no.
I didn't need to see that.
Really?
Look at this. Okay, so look. So when Matthew's running, he's running like he's still going. So
Yeah,
like
say
when he
no.
passes Pepper, is he just like still going like he's trying to get her? And like what is he doing?
Not
Like,
gonna
How
be
do you
that
know
kind of
it's him?
YouTuber.
You're him.
well, I don't know.
No, it's about chicken and
Well, Matt
peanut
is
butter.
now going to be
Oh,
a
I think we
dog.
lost this person.
That's what I did.
I actually messed up already.
Please tell me that.
Wait, how do you draw?
Oh, no,
How do you
they're still
draw
here.
velocity versus time graph?
Eric, I think we should take a screenshot
Wait,
and record it.
Oh yeah, there is because
Yeah.
Pepper is going to be a dog. Not
Yeah, it's not the kind of fucking. No, like.
my gosh. I'm probably just going to die.
So wait, wouldn't it be like this?
Uh-oh.
Wouldn't it be like that? Because
Pretty good.
No. Hers is accelerating at a constant acceleration. So it's a
oh yeah.
I think they like it good.
I always forget.
Probably not. Yeah.
Scaring me.
Nice moves.
Watch this one. Look, okay, so we're doing our handshake. Okay, so I gotta go over there to his desk, and he was about to do just a regular fist bump until he realized that we were
Pretty sure that person's gone.
almost
So
forgot.
they're not. Hey, good.
How's Travis going?
So good.
She hopes she makes the team so she doesn't have to play golf.
I need to go talk to Bill on that. I sent Bill on an email today.
To make you
Said, hey, I want your off-season schedule and then your schedule next fall so I can figure out how to work around that. For those that can play both.
I didn't want to do it, but I reported.
You don't play cheerleading.
I reported that.
I'm telling you.
Do it.
Mom?
Hey, you
Yeah.
got this.
Can I make a paper airplane?
Do it.
Not with that.
Yeah, with that.
Drain, I'm telling you, I got 3 invite codes.
That's pretty good.
One has your name on it.
You don't want none?
You're gonna be a team. Yeah, you could be a
Hold on,
team. Me, Maddie, and you.
I'm pretty much the best.
Yeah, Maddie actually.
Trust me, stick
good.
with R6Cs.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
talking's really fun once you learn how to do it.
It's okay, play.
Dude,
Yeah, I want to play.
well, I've been distracted by Matthew shaking the table. Oh my gosh, if you would actually do that, I'd be so mad.
Maddie.
Okay, here's the other thing I like too. I can literally
Maddie, I can't
one
win
person
without
on
you.
On what?
You can't win in general.
I can kill one person. There can only kill 10.
No.
I kill one person and I win. I hide in a bush the
Wiggy.
whole time until the last person besides me. And I'm good.
Okay, I found a bush, by the way. I was able to wear the bush. I became
Or I
one
come in
with-
second and literally kill nobody. That's
You
awesome.
say, and they said exactly.
Yeah, play
No, I'm not
Warframe.
saying
Warframe's a lot better.
So he's saying he's bad at it. He's really bad.
No, he's saying he's just stealthy.
No, he's just really bad.
Nobody's actually good on their first game of Fortnite.
Yeah, huh? I did good.
I was.
I got
But then I would like
13
watch
kills
other
in my
people.
first
Like,
game.
literally
I got
go,
3.
Just go like find a little
I got, like,
bushes, just
Zero.
do nothing the whole game until like, oh hey, I'm in second, or hey, I killed one person and won. I'm like, I literally killed 6 more people than you did. I killed 7, you killed 1, and I killed like 13.
You timed them out.
So dumb.
Wait, you put them on. Wait, you banned them or timed them out? Oh.
Dude, they're gone.
Yeah, check your participants. They're not here.
Oh, Hands is here.
So I played duo like a couple times. I don't have like one other friend like play Fortnite. I hate my Fortnite, so like I don't know.
Let's see it. We just had a weird ass commentary. I didn't want to do it, but I regret it.
Oh, yeah, good job.
And you're cool. You cool. I showed you people. Okay.
Oh, my knees are hurting.
Mobile can be connected to any. I'm pretty sure mobile can be connected to like your PS4.
Yeah.
Okay.
The wins count. The wins count.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
Be silent once.
Okay, because like I saw it. That was
Alright.
Oh, you broke the lead.
I shot it.
Nice job. Oh, any questions?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh! I know.
Maddie, look, I'm gonna win.
I'm short.
Whoa.
I have what?
Small hands.
No, you don't. I have the same size hands as Carson.
Alright, who's still working?
Maddie is.
Maddie is. Just
Yeah,
wait,
give
just
me a
wait
few
5
more minutes,
seconds.
then we're moving
Don't
on.
worry.
You got this.
I'll be there.
No,
Yeah.
Someone get that kill.
I'll
Be there. Maddie, I got someone.
Oh.
You have kill?
Yeah.
I got kill.
Nice.
Also,
Maddie, will I ever be good as you?
no.
Will I ever be good as good as you?
Oh,
Understandable.
understandable. Have a good day.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
That meme is dead, but it's still good.
No. I'm gonna go fight people.
Flying tomato.
Is it a bad thing?
Yeah, I got someone.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
how many kills do you have now?
2.
What the heck?
You wear a backpack.
One.
Okay, you're going on your Pokemon adventure.
Oh.
Oh god.
Someone shot at me.
Somebody's shooting at you. Oh, your shield's all the way down. Oh, lag.
Got him.
Oh, dang.
I'm too good at this game.
Gets headshot
Give me
across the
that
map.
green. Give me that green pump. Let's get it. Oh,
Does double pump exist?
no.
And, well, I mean,
Matthew, we're gonna have a
It's gone now.
uh,
It used to exist. It exists.
oh, hello.
No.
I know Morgan.
Pokemon, gotta catch it.
What are you doing? My charger's on that thing.
Why are you doing that? How do you get it out?
Logan.
Nope.
I'm
Okay.
in Pleasant. I got 3
Definitely
kills so
do
far. Yeah.
Go ahead and check out that channel of yours.
I couldn't reach it if I can't reach it.
Check out Morgan's channel. We'll definitely sub you. Nice. Subbed. Alright, Peyton, sorry. There we go.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah, that person.
Nice. So,
Oh my god.
I can't run.
She likes napkins. She's trying to get it on the table.
Did you get up on the table?
Not yet.
oh my god, we get this question so much.
She's trying. You get those questions so much here. I swear.
Oh.
Oh my dog.
I like
We're
how
both 15. Ow. Oh, nice.
Wait, let me get on your lip.
This is a Q&A stream, so we gotta, hold on, do you want,
Whoa!
we must share wave.
that was a short joke.
It was.
Look
I
at
called
this.
everybody short.
This dude right here. That is Blue Musketeer.
Which one of them is that?
Zoe.
Blue Musketeer, you should wave. That's disturbing.
This boy, that's Blue Musketeer. We are in Missouri. We, in Missouri.
Is there anything that's
And we're
not
surrounded by idiots
hurting
playing Fortnite. I say idiots. I play Dead by Daylight, and you are here, by the way. Ah, nice.
Why is that going down?
Oh god. There's Blue Musketeer. Arkansas.
How do you know how many invite codes you have?
Not really. It's just a bunch of people playing Fortnite.
Wait, how do you get invite codes? Like, how do you get your own to like give people?
You have to like
No, it's not
send
that
it, you have
way.
to request for an invite.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, and then someone gave me
We are
that
just in
code.
science
Well,
class.
I mean, I don't know how I got mine. I think that's how it goes, but I just got mine right.
Right
I
behind me
really
right
know
there.
how to
Like,
play Fortnite.
that guy right
Are
there.
you done playing?
No, I got 4 kills right now.
That's the teacher right there.
Oh,
I'm level 63.
She's supposed to get titsify.
I'm sorry.
You don't even know. How did I get past level 1? Play the game once.
Are you still going on the same route?
Yeah.
Jeez, you got it.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have a trash.
Good at this game.
Matchmaking.
No.
I
don't care if
after
they
I play with you.
It's chilly now.
I mean,
They don't listen to me. Everybody hates me at the school.
You're gonna win.
No parents.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Mostly because I do night club.
Sweaty. Oh my god, what a sweaty.
Okay, so we got Blue Musketeer subdue as well. We got Dom. Hey Dom. Dom. Nah, he didn't listen to me.
Everyone plays
Yeah,
this way.
nobody
I know that,
listens
right?
get out of my
Oh,
way.
damage trap.
Just destroying the entire gas station.
No.
I'm not even playing it.
Know what you're going for.
I'm not.
I'm gonna have you turn this in like
That's how you
2
do.
minutes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
How you jump in this thing?
You push the jump button.
Where? Oh,
Where's the jump button?
God.
The one that says jump.
Doesn't say jump.
It says
The one
jump.
that shows someone jumping.
Jump.
That's how you.
Alright,
that's how
we
you
got
hide
like
They won't
a long time before class ends.
Okay.
Q&A streams, this is what I do. I'll be doing one after school today as well, so that's something to look forward to, I guess.
You scream.
Let's see here.
What?
Crying.
I'm so done with this game.
That's what
I'm
you
When you're in the
done.
top 5, your hands will start sweating like Niagara Falls.
I'm so done with this
I
game.
keep doing that for jumping, but it's not.
You got any more questions?
Oh my gosh, want to
You know,
see?
he's sweating. He starts breathing loudly.
Questions are really what the stream's all about. Let me lower myself. Also, Google, you are here.
Hayden's in a 1v1 situation.
1v1 situations. They're very stressful.
I gotta make it.
How do you even choose?
You tap on the place you want to go.
If not, just enjoy the crazy. Oh yeah, I forgot. We need to show. I forgot we need to show her the peanut butter. This is the peanut butter. Real peanut butter. I've been eating peanut butter for like 2 days. Freaking delicious right here. I had 2 jars.
Now that I did that, will I land there?
Wait.
Yeah. You
Okay. Yeah.
round towards it.
I will. I'll definitely give you those views.
Follow the map.
Bless you.
I'm trying to go over here. Oh, there are people there.
You are here.
Yeah, he plays a lot.
I'm trying to go where
In like
you
2 weeks, he's got to
Max, you're in the back of my
I've played this game like 2 times, and I know what to do more than you.
No, we got. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, here. Oh my gosh, there's so many people.
Oh, okay, so it's like saying,
They're all going here.
oh, that's, you sweat.
That's that's understandable.
Peanut butter.
It's understandable.
I
don't play the game anymore.
I tell you,
He did. He did. He subscribed to you. Still call the pineapple. Oh, I don't know that kid. So. Skyrim as well. Freaking KG. Yes. Yes. But mostly because you've seen my channel, so.
Yo, you know me.
I'm either
Still got
Imperial,
25 people
KG,
left.
or Argonian. This went to a different
I
level.
haven't seen anyone.
I make no money.
Here.
No.
It's better
Peanut butter. Yo, you'll see my secret stash of peanut butter.
Just like bring 2 jars of peanut butter in there.
Then come back.
Fixing to upload a new video.
Nice. You do that. I'll definitely check it out.
This is a ripoff.
What's this picture?
I may upload some more music later.
That one sucks.
That's mainly what your channel is. And then
Yeah.
we started doing these shenanigan videos.
Yeah, these what other streams? This is stream shenanigans.
Streams, whatever.
School shenanigans
It's a
stream.
makeup video.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, makeup videos aren't the worst video. I mean, I've watched a few.
Warrior level 2.
May put makeup on this dude.
I just started.
Okay.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there are people in there.
Ow, dude.
Dude, there's like no one.
Ow, that hurt.
I haven't seen anyone
You just
like
got
fat
like
minute.
sharp.
Fat minute.
She got really
Wait,
sharp
whoa,
nails.
how do you do that?
Okay, cool.
You okay? So you like this?
Ow.
Don't worry about him. He's fine. He's just a big baby.
Yeah. Okay.
It really tells you have to be this in the game.
It's not like it hurt or anything.
I might have
Did
my
it?
run off since that's why I didn't do it.
I didn't know that.
Ow. That actually hurt.
Tap on the back.
No,
side.
Ow.
Look at Hayden.
Yay.
Oh wait, my science is done. I don't know. He went down the Mario pipe. He's going back to his dimension.
That's a big player.
The highest is 5.
It just fell.
My highest.
I'm really upset.
Oh, I just got
Oh,
second.
don't bite me. You got him.
Because you suck.
Hey, this is a 1v1 situation.
Your build on the phone?
Fastest ninja.
Look at this. It's so cringe. Never say that again, please.
You're not as good as Ninja.
Ninjas.
Wait, we got more people.
Down there.
We have another person, I think.
Fastest ninja.
No.
It's just now saying that.
Myth.
Yeah,
So I watched it, and I saw a video. I did it. It said Myth had a birthday. I watched that last
Look, this is what our schools turn into.
That was a joke.
Yeah.
Whispers, nerds, yeah.
Ow,
Nerds,
dude.
they're the Fortnite players.
Oh wait, it's Amy. Hi, Amy.
Where is this guy?
I don't got any on me. I would be eating some nerds if I had them. No, that's my peanut butter. My peanut butter.
Yeah.
I don't have any apples though.
Like actually gay.
Oh yeah, here you go.
Oh,
I'm giving you.
Someone just shot at me. Someone shot at me. I don't know where.
Reese's Puffs.
Yeah,
Peanut
it's
Puffs.
nice. Hey, you.
Hello. Welcome. This is all that's left of the evidence. Throw it away. Put it to the freaking cereal morgue. I don't know. We got Fortnite players to the right of me. Not even more. Stab it.
Good snipe. You suck.
Oh, I like doing these shenanigan streams.
Hi, Amy.
Hello. I play Ace Attorney, so What, the peanut butter? I need to take off my glasses, man.
What is 10?
He's breathing so
There's
hard.
9 people.
He's breathing so hard.
She says, "I." Oh God, I can tell you're choking. Oh God.
Yeah, Hayden, shut up.
You are.
Amy says hi, Eric.
What?
Okay, I'll watch you play.
It takes a lot for it to go down.
Man, I got a bunch of people with phones out walking around doing stupid stuff.
Playing Fortnite. See, that's stupid.
We'll go to a no cell phone policy quicker than you can think about it.
Yes, sir.
I just thought about it.
No cell phone policy. Put them up. I want to see the rest of the class.
Well then.
At 5. Let's do this.
And I died.
My eyes hurt.
Someone came
No
up in the
sleep.
middle of the
I need sleep. That's why you have the wet foot storms keep me awake.
trying to
Jesus.
find something.
Cautiously now.
She's the one show. Ooh.
Yeah, they heard that.
Yeah.
Well, good thing we don't.
Yeah, that's because people have mobile Fortnite now. That's the problem with our day and age, apparently. I only play on Fortnite on PS4, and very rarely when I'm not playing Warframe
Hey, Dwayne, guess what?
or Dead or Alive
27th place.
or Mortal Kombat. I'll next one for that. I play Call of Duty, okay, and Dead by Daylight, and Friday the 13th. I play Steam games on Twitch.
Before you leave today, you need to turn in that sheet up here. I'm
Wait.
moving on.
What's A? Wait. C and A. Do we need to do these?
Yeah.
Is that what the charts are for? Is this what the charts are for?
Yeah.
Okay. So I got that.
Give me 1 second.
I hit my fingers.
I don't have my name on my paper.
No, you know what? Okay,
Did I put my name on my
Put your name
paper?
on the
It doesn't have my name on it.
I don't know if I put my name on it.
Yeah, we should probably check that.
You just had it die.
My writing is like chicken scratch.
Depression. I didn't get the dog.
I got killed before you did, and you've been playing longer.
All right.
Do you have a PS4?
My brother has
Is that a
Xbox.
double
They
chin
never
smiley
play
face?
on
Okay.
Oh, wow, he's kind of done. Did he see me something?
Sorry. I'm very organized.
Okay.
Hi.
You took away our cell phone policy.
No, what the heck?
So
That is not my fault.
this is going to be. So this is supposed to have a motion detector set up to it. So you would get out for your equipment, you would equip it, so that way you could get all the different types of graphs. Instead of doing that though, with the motion detector and having those set up everywhere, we're going to more talk about this one. So basically what we're going to do is you're going to predict the motions, what this types of stuff, and then you're going to make the corresponding graphs that go along with it. So for problem 1 here, it says observe the motion of the car from rest and rolling down an incline without using the motion detector. Is the velocity positive or negative? So looking at that diagram, is that velocity positive or negative? Why?
Because zero's at the top of the ramp.
Yeah, because if you look at that diagram,
Gotcha.
0 is at the top of the ramp and x is down here at the bottom. So I'm going from 0 to a positive x. So my velocity must be positive. Okay, so next part, is the acceleration positive or negative?
Positive.
Why?
Speeds up.
Because it's speeding up. And remember, for an object to speed up, my velocity and acceleration must have the same sign. So if my velocity is positive, then my acceleration must be positive as it's speeding up. And it is, as it went down the ramp. Okay, draw a motion diagram for that. Give you guys 30 seconds.
Yeah. Stream.
Okay, I didn't steal anything. So.
What just happened?
Okay.
I
So
should really
for
do
part
24/7
D,
night for streams. Jesus.
With your table, predict the position time graph, the velocity time graph, and the acceleration time graph. Predict those with your table. Discuss them and then draw them.
Position.
I can't. Last time I ever gave you Reese's Puffs. That's the last time I give you Reese's Puffs. I would go something more basic, like Cheerios. Acceleration's closer. Eh.
I get it.
Yes.
Hello.
I just didn't turn around on my camera. I'm like,
Nephew, what kind
standing on it. I prefer sushi.
Okay, so what does this position time graph look like?
Curve. Positive. Positive curve.
Starting at zero. That is a positive line.
It's starting at zero.
Good.
Yeah.
Starts at zero. So your position time graph should look like that. Now, velocity time graph. Got a 3-step method. What's the first step?
Positive or negative?
Positive or negative? That's positive. Speed at the beginning.
Slow.
Slow.
Can't type. It's kind of
Speed at
big,
the end.
I guess.
Fast.
Let's see. Eric, what would you rate their school big?
Velocity time graph should look something like that.
Yeah.
So, on a velocity time graph, the slope of the line represents what?
Acceleration.
Acceleration. Talk to me about the acceleration of that object.
Constant.
Constant and
Constant.
positive.
Constant. Positive.
Constant and positive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So therefore, you don't have to put anything on E as long as your graphs matched those graphs. So, for each graph, observe, answer those questions on 1F with your table.
Wait.
Where's the other guy?
Yeah, we only have 2 people. That's
a problem.
Yeah.
I thought you said tomato.
Conversation only takes
Oof.
Oh, that's a dialogue.
Roblox.
Unless you're awkward and you talk to yourself.
I talk to myself.
Like me?
No,
You're awkward.
You talk to yourself sometimes.
Technically, 2 people is a partnership.
Yeah. What if you're really, really good?
Yeah,
I'm just like,
boss.
hey Matthew, how you doing?
What, do you want me to join you guys?
Yeah, boss.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I talked to myself today on accident.
Wait, you mean right now?
Then we'd only have Jonah or 2 people, Jonah.
I said sorry to someone, then I responded. I was like, it's okay.
Increasing or decreasing? I said increasing.
Because I hit someone on accident, and I was like, I'm sorry, and I was like, it's okay. And I was like, wait.
Welcome science class.
Nice, man. Just nice. Way to go, man.
Someone was as stupid as you saying equal sign when I wrote a face.
Okay,
It's
Matthew.
the last judgment thing.
That's the only thing you
draw the
added.
graph?
How did you manage to
So
do
I was
that?
like, equal sign. Why'd you draw an equal sign?
Wait, do we do the graph?
I don't know.
No.
Ah! My typing's very slow.
See how? See how?
Oof.
I was gonna do those. And they're like, no, don't do it.
I never said anything.
I didn't say anything either.
I asked you.
What is that hitting the table? The wedding ring? Train. Let me see it.
I said don't do the graphs.
Oh, wait.
Oh, that's the one that Mr. DeLuey had. Or something like that.
I'm done.
I just remember because I didn't like him.
Increasing.
You know what it looks like?
It's
What do you look
positive.
like?
Yeah. Wait, you know what that
Something
looks like?
that. A barrel.
Looks like a wedding ring.
Looks like a barrel.
Looks like a barrel. That's a short barrel.
No?
Like a wood barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Short wood barrel.
No.
Really short.
It's fine. No bottom.
Or
All
top.
right. So, is the slope constant, increasing, or decreasing for the position time graph?
Increasing.
Increasing. Positive. Good. What does that slope represent? Speed. Velocity time graph. Is that slope increasing, decreasing, or constant?
Increasing.
Oh, it's a
Constant. The slope is constant.
Oh, sorry.
Is positive. And what does the slope represent? Acceleration. Good. Is the slope on the acceleration time graph increasing, decreasing, or constant?
zero.
It is constant. Constantly zero.
There was no. Hold up, that's a trick. There was no. Oh,
It's constantly
never
zero.
mind. I see it.
Is the slope positive or negative?
Neither.
Neither. Zero. And I don't care if you know what the slope of acceleration time graph represents.
What is it? FYI.
It's called the jerk.
Uh-huh.
I put velocity as a guess. Oh my gosh.
What just happened? What did I miss?
I missed it.
What happened, Eric? What did you do to piss off Mr. Drain?
What happened to us?
What did he just do?
Go.
Go away. You what?
Oh, wait, what?
What did he say? What happened?
Okay. Number 2.
Can you do that again? I didn't see what
It
happened.
says observe the motion of the car. Slowing down after initial push without using the motion detector. Answer the following questions. So I'm supposed to push it up, ramp, stop it at the highest point. Was that velocity positive or negative?
Positive.
Why?
It's moving
going
on
forward.
zero.
Yeah, if you look where 0 is at on the diagram and where x is at, it's going towards positive x. So the velocity was positive. Okay, so is the acceleration positive or negative? Negative. Why?
It's slowing down.
It's slowing down. And remember, for an object that's slowing down, the signs must be opposite. So if my velocity is positive, the acceleration must be negative. Draw your motion diagram, including both velocity and acceleration.
Did you tell us to do that first?
No, we're on the next one now.
Everybody just left.
Boss, I hate
Yeah. Throw them out.
I want to find that engineering star. I got
Fat dibs, fat people.
Ooh.
Only
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
it's true.
yeah.
So what exactly happened?
What is that?
Josiah,
I keep thinking
present
that.
my legendary scar.
I keep thinking that you're saying it's only mean because it's
Oh my
true.
god, no, I
It's only mean if it's true.
I keep thinking that you're saying because it's true.
Boss. But boss.
But boss.
Hey, both.
Wait.
Stop messing with my charger.
It's fun.
Okay. As long as it's
Are you
fun.
taking like pictures of yourself?
No.
Is this live?
People are watching. There was 5.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys?
The only person on is Eric.
Tag me on
Eric's.
Instagram.
Oh.
I don't have Instagram.
They don't have Instagram.
I don't have Instagram.
Tell them to.
Eric? He's my moderator. Just Eric and me, currently.
Stop messing with it.
We had like 5 or 6 people earlier. They all left.
Because they probably have school too.
Yeah. Well, some of them are on the
Go
other
ahead
side of
and
the world,
predict.
so.
Predict your position time graph, velocity time graph, and acceleration time graph.
Whoa.
I have no idea who's still here. I'm always going to be streaming during this class, so just expect that. I'm always going to be streaming during this class, so just expect that.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Because it's not like I have time in my house to do it.
Why do you do this?
Because the way
Learning.
I am learning.
Not if you're doing that.
I'm learning that it's okay to do this. I don't know anymore. Yeah. Plus, I got Eric.
I don't drink Gatorade.
By the way, one of the people said you guys are nerds.
You know it's actually made out of Gatorade.
The person who was watching the stream earlier heard people talking about Fortnite. There's the person's just like nerds. I'm like,
Tell them they're right.
yes, I will say that.
Yes, you are.
When they come back onto the stream.
Just because I play Fortnite doesn't mean I'm a nerd.
I play
So wait, do we
Fortnite,
not have the right to
okay?
play whatever we want?
Nope.
Yeah, Matthew. Here's my pickle.
Wait, what'd you put for the acceleration?
All right. So, what does my position time graph look like?
That was
Curve down, or the curve down, positive or negative.
Yeah.
Like that?
No, starting at positive 0.
Positive 0?
Yes,
No, starting at negative.
starting at negative 0.
Should look like that. Your position time graph should look like this.
Oh yeah.
Avion, you want me to help you after school? You better pay attention now. Otherwise, I'm not going to help you after school.
Oof.
Okay. Position time graph should look like that. 3-step process to turn this into velocity time graph. What's the first step?
Positive or
Is
negative?
it positive or negative?
Or 0.
Yeah.
Positive. Speed at
Negative.
the beginning, slow or fast?
Slow.
Fast. Speed at the end, slow or fast?
Much slower.
Slow.
Grieving, fleshy
You're going
man.
from fast to slow positively. Talk about the acceleration of that object. Negative. What else?
Constant.
Constant. Your acceleration time graph should look like that.
Boom. That's what I got.
Questions over that? Okay, go ahead and I'm not worried about the next part. Let's go to 3.
What about to ask like for that?
I'm not worried about that. That'll be similar stuff what you're doing on 1.
Now that's my job.
Okay. Says observe the cart using from rest. Rolling down the incline without using motion detector. So, if I started here, rolls down. Positive or negative? Velocity.
Negative.
Why?
Going towards 0.
Going towards 0. Good. Positive or negative acceleration?
Positive. Negative, because it's speeding up. It has to be the
Negative.
same
Because
sign.
it's speeding up. My signs must be the same
Oh,
for an
yeah.
object to speed up. So since I have negative velocity, I must have negative acceleration. Draw a motion diagram of that. And then go ahead and predict your graphs.
That's not necessary.
So it was.
Hey,
I've always short people.
this is my moderator. Moderator.
What, Eric?
Yes.
5'2".
Only. So I missed what the chat did.
I'm very tall, 5'2".
Oh, wait, I missed it.
I'm almost a foot taller than you.
No, you're not.
I'm 6'1.5". I'm 6.
It's a message for your next class.
All right. What does your position time graph look like?
Oh, I didn't do those. Whoops.
It looks like that.
Yeah.
Only it's negative. It's curving up. Only it's negative. Yes.
Agree or disagree?
Agreed. Agree.
Disagree.
Disagree. Because it starts at +0.
Good.
Yeah,
Starts at +0 and ends at 0. Should look like that. Should look like that.
Only 1 0.
Huh?
You said I'll start at
Oh, sorry.
+0.
Starts at +x, ends at 0.
Wait.
My bad. All right, 3-step process. First step, negative. Second step,
slow.
third step,
Fast.
How about you?
Talk to me about the acceleration of that object.
It's negative.
Negative and
Starts out slow.
constant.
It starts out.
Negative and constant.
So
That's what that looks like.
Oh, it's just upstream.
Questions over that? If you're missing the graphs, you understand why.
Wait, I don't understand how you get
It's on there.
What's wrong with the desk? Why do they have all this stuff on it?
So straight line.
like